Welcome to the North Bank. We're way to talk about Bournemouth. Was it lucky? 3 points near the end to the game, or were Arsenal in absolute control? Then we're going to pop over to Liverpool. Is it just simply another 3 points that Arsenal are going for, or does it have a significant message to put to the rest of the Premier League? We currently have both of the guests have just joined. Richard's just jumped on as well. So before we move on to that, and it will be broken down beautifully, I want to welcome my guests. First one, Sean, my brother from another mother, the person that keeps me correct in life. He's already making plans for me and him to go on a parade for the quadruple. Like, we're spending money in January for the quadruple. then we're planning a trip to the Ryder Cup, and if finances and wives and children allow it, we're also planning to tailgate in the USA to meet a certain star-spangled wanker. Sean, how are you, my brother?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Really good. It's hard not to be good at the minute, being top of every table. Semi-finals, it's all good.
Superb. And Richard, straight up the hospital, slightly delayed due to transport. As you can see, people, I do have a winter theme in the background because this is what it looks like outside my freaking house right now. It is Baltic. It is so cold in the UK, but at least Arsenal keep us going. But Richard, the main man, there's no myth, the legend. How are you, bro?
Good, thanks. A bit rushed, but and I will pop out once Michelle gets here to hand her stuff over for her, so she can go to bingo with her aunt. But that'll take 5 minutes.
No, not a worry, mate. So I'll pop to Sean. Is on limited time because he has to pick up the kids and that. So Sean, I want to come to you first. The lineup broke for Bournemouth. Were you happy with that? I'll just go quickly through the lineup. We've obviously got Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Noni, Gyökeres and Martinelli. Was there anything that you liked or disliked during that, and how did it make you feel, bro?
Do you know what, Mark? Part of that, for me, depends on how Thursday goes. Because if we go to Thursday and we look fresh and we look great and we win that game, then no problem. But it nearly backfired. I just think in the Premier League, when you want to win the Premier League, there's no team, maybe bar Wolves, but even then, like Wolves nearly got off something against us. I just don't think you can rest your best 11. I don't think you should change and rest your best 11 in the Premier League. It's so risky and it can backfire.
It's a hard balance. And I do see where you're coming from with that, Sean, but for me, I think it's a hard balance. But yeah, we've got cups coming up. There's a possibility. Richard, where do you stand on that? Where do you stand on rotation? How do you?
Yeah, I mean, a year ago, any rotation would have killed us in that game. But the only one that maybe shocked me was Joker. He didn't rest Gyökeres as well and start Jesus, but maybe he starts Jesus at Liverpool. But it's what I'd said in my preview show, that I'd swap that front three around because we've got to rest Saka at some point. His hamstrings have both gone, and you've got to keep him fit if you want to win this league. And the same, and we've got what? Not 9 games in January, so I expected against Bournemouth, I expect it against Portsmouth, wholesale changes against Portsmouth, and I expect wholesale changes against Kairat, and then little rotations maybe in the other games if you need to.
Yeah. No, fair play. That's maybe a topic for a podcast, to be honest. And I think it's a good one, Sean, that you came out with. But Sean, to come back to you, the first half is pretty dire, if we're being honest. Misplaced passes, etc. Can you touch on the influence of Gabriel? Not just a mistake, his goal, and coming back into the side after injury.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has. I mean, other than that slip up. He has just come back like he was never gone. Like he's not been injured. Normally, I remember Gabriel in 2022 or 21. Whenever he'd miss a couple of games, he'd come back and he'd take 3 games to get his touch, to get his pass, to get everything back. He's just at that level now of world class. I think that, you know, injured for 6 weeks, yeah, he'll slot straight back in and play the game. That one mistake was like very 2020, 2021 Gabriel, wasn't it? You don't see that error. I don't know. I don't want to give excuses. It was a really terrible error. But I mean, I was talking to people on WhatsApp. I might have mentioned it to you, Mark, but there was a kick clash going on there straight off the bat. Like, I don't get why we was wearing, or they had white shorts. We had our white socks. Aren't we not allowed to wear our home kit against Spurs at Spurs because of our white sleeves? So I don't get why we weren't in our away kit there to just get rid of any kind of kick clash going on.
Yeah, no, do you know what? I never looked at it on that, but I thought there was a rule against that, Sean. I think that you could be possibly right with that. Was that Arsenal, though? Richard, did you want to come through? Is that Arsenal just trying to display the third kit and get the sales up? Do they have a deal with the Adidas where they have to play it so many times?
I think it was because the blue and black is so close to the red and black that it when there's calls, the referee may get a decision wrong. It's to give the referee greater clarity of who's committed or which player the ball's come off, sort of thing. It's really silly and archaic, but I think if there's enough difference, you should be able to. You should play the thing. It's like in UEFA, you're not allowed to play. I believe you're not allowed to play the third kit. You can only play home or away kits. There's some weird rulings for kits in the UEFA competitions as well.
There's maybe a possibility Adidas have got a deal with Arsenal that every kit's got to be worn X amount of games, and that's maybe why it's there. But Sean, it's a great topic, and Richard, you're actually right as well. Do you know what? I remember a game years and years ago, and I don't know if you guys, Sean, you may be too young, but Richard, you might not be. Man United turned up for a game, and they played in this black and gold kit. And it was blended into everything else on the pitch. And in the first half, they were just about as bad as Arsenal against Bournemouth. And at half-time, Fergie ripped that kit straight off of them.
I do remember.
Put on. He changed it. Yeah, he changed the kit. He changed the kit because they said that we just can't see each other on the pitch, and the passing was horrendous. So, Sean, come back. Just Gabriel makes up for his howler. Makes up for his howler with a unbelievable goal. And I do want to touch on that. What kind of leadership does that show and mentality does that show that Gabriel's got?
Yeah, I mean, how many times does a player make an error like that? Even like goalkeepers as such, they make an error and then that's in their head for the rest of the game. Where you could see the frustration in him. He didn't let it get to him. He was just peed off with himself. And I think in that was motivation and, like you said, like a leader sort of role to turn that around and say, right, no, I'm going to go, what was it, 2 minutes later, up the other end. Noni Madueke did excellent to come to get to the byline, get a ball in and straight on him. It wasn't a header, it wasn't anything else. It was a clean strike with the right foot. Was it left or right foot straight in?
Left, I think it was left, yeah. It was
class.
Fantastic. It was class. Richard, what was your overall thoughts on the first half?
I thought we were slow. We allowed them to make us play in areas we didn't want to play. We weren't, and we didn't mix it up enough. We didn't go long, then play short, and it allowed them to set traps for us, and that's what eventually led to their opening goal. And it was against the run of play because they'd been good for the first 10 minutes or so, and then started growing into the game and started figuring it out, and then that silly mistake puts us back again. But overall, I thought we there was a not so much control, but we were keeping them at arm's length, just like a boxer, just trying to figure out how to get past their guard and land a killer blow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, first half overall, Richard, you're right. You're right. It was slack, etc. So, Sean, I want to come to you just before we dive into like the things that happened in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of team talk do you think Arteta must have said to them? Or what do you think they said in that changing room? Because it was, for me, like the Aston Villa game, it was a tale of two halves.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I wonder what Arteta is actually like at halftime in his team talks now, because he always gives off that kind of vibe now that, you know, he loves the team, he loves his players. Where when you watch that documentary, he goes in on them, and I don't think he goes in on them as much as that nowadays. And I think he's probably a lot more motivational at halftime. And I just probably think Bournemouth play quite an intense game of football. They're not a slow team. They don't give up and they keep going. So I would have said, they're going to tire. If they keep playing the way they are, they're going to tire. And I think that's what comes down to it a lot this season with Bournemouth. They don't concede a lot at home, but they are intense. So they do tire towards the end of games and in the second half. So I think he probably just said, keep playing how we're playing. It will click.
Yeah. Do you know what? I tend to agree with that. Richard, would you agree with that? Do you think that it is possibly more motivational? I mean, as Sean alluded to, when we watched All or Nothing documentary, you can see Arteta going really in on the players. But do you think that's maybe due to the fact now that he actually has his players and his team? Could you see it being more motivated rather than like a hairdryer treatment?
Yeah, in a lot of cases. I'm also wondering if it's that the first half so by design sort of control the match, figure out what the other team's doing, and then get them in at half time and make those tweaks and changes to get things going properly. And I think we saw it against the other day when he bought when Villa he bought Mourinho further back in the second half, and he made that tactical tweak. So I think he probably does the talks. He tweaks the things that he sees aren't working, and then goes, look, I trust you, I believe in you, but you need to be a little bit quicker here and there, and try and play in these areas and target these areas more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, one of my lights have just went out and I wasn't plugged in properly on the charger. Give us a second, I'll get that fixed. So let's move on to Declan Rice, Sean. Do you want to speak about just what he gave us in that second half?
He's on course, if we do the right things this season, to be like a top contender for a Ballon d'Or winner, isn't he? Like, he's up there with Rodri's Ballon d'Or season right now. You know, he's everywhere on that pitch. He's, you know, now putting away the goals. His assists are up there. You know, I'd like to see him get to 10 goals. That would be like unbelievable for him. Yeah, and he literally just took the game from the scruff of the neck, didn't he? Put himself in the places he needs to be, was open for both the shots to be slotted to him, and then he just slotted them both away perfectly. It's a shame he couldn't have got another one of those balls into him for the hat-trick. But he's a superstar. He's unbelievable, and he seems to just learn new things every season and just keeps improving.
Yeah. Richard, do you want to talk about the goal? Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to get set back up. I don't know what I've done wrong, and like my whole setup's just wrong. Richard, do you want to speak about the goals, mate?
Yeah, I mean, on the initial look, you think that is brilliant play by Odegaard to fake a shot and pass to Rice. But in his interview, Rice says that he literally screams for the ball, and you still have to give Odegaard credit for the fact that he was going to take a shot. He heard Royce's cool, and was able to change what he was doing. And once it's there, you're only wanting two players in that position to strike it, aren't you? You're wanting that either to be Trossard or Rice, because they're the best two strikers of the ball we've got. I don't, you know, that they're going to be on target.
Yeah.
And if not, end up in the back of the net. They're at least going to be testing the keeper if it doesn't nestle in the back of the net. But it was clever as well, because he played it back the other way, and the keeper was already moving the other way. So it was always going to be hard for him to get back down to that side.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Yeah, the pros on screen, God knows, like, there's no point in messing around with it. No point in messing around with it. Declan Rice. Sean, how close to world class are we talking?
I think he's there. He's if Rodri's world class and Rodri's picking up Ballon d'Ors, then, you know, if we've won the Champions League this season, then I'm pretty sure Declan Rice picks up Ballon d'Or up.
I would agree. Absolutely agree. Richard, we spoke the other night regarding weaknesses in Declan Rice's game. Well, if there is any. What do you think that Declan needs to improve on and within his game?
Well, if you're going to put him up in the world's best or the Premier League's greatest midfielders, you're looking at the Lampards, the Scholes, and the Gerrards, and that means just more goals, more consistently, season in, season out. I think he's almost there. I don't think there's a weakness as such. It's just about upping that productivity in terms of goals and assists, which he will do. In fact, he's given me this season vibes of Gerrard. I think it was this in the season he dragged Liverpool back into the Champions League against Inter. He dragged them back into the game, and then was it 3 or 4 days later against West Ham in the FA Cup? He did exactly the same thing. He is dragging this team along with him. He's dragging them over a line, and you heard it in his interview afterwards. We've been here before. We haven't won anything yet. And when he speaks like that and he acts like he does, that's a manager's dream. That's what supporters want to hear. You want to see that you're not happy with that performance. You know there's better to come, and you have to be better if you want to win this league.
Mm-hmm.
No, 100%, Richard. That's it. John, what did you make of the Gerrard celebration?
What his celebration of his goals?
Yeah, he kisses the camera. It's a Gerrard celebration.
Oh yeah, very Gerrard-esque, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really take much notice of it. I was too busy buzzing that we'd just gone 3-1 up and pulling away from City. Whether or not he's mimicking Gerrard or he just saw the camera and thought, "I'd give it a smooch."
Yeah, I just the only thing where I'm having like issues, guys. So sorry, my camera's going to be off. As long as you could hear me, that's the main thing.
Yeah, all right.
So Richard, do you not get to a point when players do celebrations? It's a bit like, are you the place where we're playing Tottenham and you see Trossard or Martinelli, not so much Trossard, but Martinelli doing a knee slide and pointing up to Henry? Do you not just wish that these players just done their own thing, or is it a good thing that we're actually respecting other players?
Yeah, I mean, they say it's a tribute, mimicking somebody else's celebration or work, isn't it? It's a form of making a nod to the previous artist or person who's done it. And the problem is it's like dance. Most of it's been done before, so you're very hard to come up with something new. I think you just do what you feel like in the moment. It has to. You have to feel it in the moment and do whatever you like.
Yeah, right, we are running out of time for having Sean. Sean, how long have we got before you need to leave?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Right, we've still got a bit of time then. Right, Sean, Bournemouth Screamer and then your nerves. Do you want to touch on that, and then I think we'll move on to the Liverpool game.
Yeah, I think the goal, it's a great strike. I have a few nitpicks with it. I think a lot of people probably do disagree, but I do, for once, slightly agree with Brian, and I do think Raya should and could do better, especially when you see a shot that's struck in the middle height of a goal. Outside the box, it's middle height. It's not in the top corner. It's not in the bottom corner. It's your perfect height for reaching across and getting it. And on the other side of it, he shouldn't be given that much time outside of our box. I mean, anyone in the Premier League, look what happened to Liverpool. It's a centre-back or a CDM.
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, no worries, Rich. You give anyone in the Premier League that much space outside the box to strike a ball with no pressure on them, it's you're looking for trouble, aren't you, really? So my other gripe is whose man is that and why they're not on it? And it looks like Odegaard drops off of him quite a lot and lets him run. And then that's Declan Rice's space, isn't it? The left side. So, there's a few gripes with that. I don't know if you agree on any of that or if you think Raya had no chance.
Not the right person beeping.
Yeah. No, first of all, before I answer you on that, just Richard's left the room, so you maybe wouldn't have picked up your thing, but it's the 6th of January 2026. You've already got off to an absolutely howler of a start to a year, Sean, if you're agreeing with Brian this early. Bro, you cannot do that. You really cannot do that. But no, I don't. And the reason I don't, right, agree with that with Raya is because, see, when a player hits a ball with that much pace, spin and dip on it, that's either two things could happen. One, they completely get it wrong and it could fly over the stand. However, when a player hits it with that kind of, be that power and depth, I don't think you can blame the goalkeeper. And yet, Ray does get to see it. But I felt the strike was just absolutely unique, and it was absolutely just a world-class goal. Everything else that you said was absolutely correct, and I would agree with. Why was he given that kind of space? He just came on the park. Why was it if Declan Rice should have been there to close him down? Ray went mental afterwards. He's like, guys, what's happening? Mm-hmm. So I like everything you've said, Sean. I was agreeing with Brian. I totally agree on. Your nerves, mate. Just while we're waiting on Rich coming back. But
hold up, Mark. Just give me 2 seconds. The door's just gone. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Right, I'll keep it going. At this point, before the guys come back, and apologies for my technology. Everything's just like dropping off my laptop. It's not great, but I was going to touch on nerves, and I will do with the guys when they come back. Are you back? Okay, yeah. So yeah, I want to touch on the nerves, Brian. See what you've done to me, Sean. I want to touch on the nerves. Yeah. Were we in control after they scored, or were you nervous?
No, I don't think I wasn't nervous. I was nervous when we got to 90th because you're just like at that point, like the last dying seconds, like don't do anything now because we have been prone to concede. I mean, look at Villa. We dominated Villa, and I think we gave up like a 2.4 XG in the last 2 minutes of that game. So that's when I was nervous. But I think I just trust my defenders. When it's Gabriel and Saliba are starting, I just have full faith that they'll see a game out. I mean, even like when we have been conceding the last embers of the game, it's been when one of them has been injured. So I wasn't massively nervous, and because it was Bournemouth, that probably helped my nerves a bit. But yeah, I did think I was going to see that game out, even at 3-2.
No, it's superb, mate. I would agree. Richard's just disappeared. Right, let's move on to
Yeah, it's
Liverpool.
because I keep seeing lights from my garage, and I don't know if it's the wife or the garage over the road.
Yeah, right, okay. Right, let's touch on Liverpool. Just while Richard tries to see the light. And,
Yeah.
the predicted lineup for Liverpool, Sean, what are you going for, mate?
Obviously, Raya is going to start. If Calafiori's back, which I've heard is 50-50 at this point, I think he'll come straight back in. Otherwise, it'd be Hincapié, and then the usual Gabriel, Saliba, Timber right back, Deckers, Zubamendi in the midfield, Odegaard, and then I think obviously Trossard. I think Gyökeres is starting, and I think Saka obviously on the right. It's going to be pretty much the normal starting 11 throughout the season, bar Calafiori.
Calafiori. Did you not see Eze coming into the mix at all? No, he just.
No.
Is there any reason why he's not getting game time right now, Sean?
I don't know why he would get game time at the minute. I don't know where he gets it. Odegaard's playing very well at the minute. Trossard's one of the best players in our team at the minute. So if you're going to put him in any other position, it's Declan Rice, and Declan Rice is our best player at the minute. So I don't really see how he gets in. The only way he gets in is injuries at the minute, or in cup games, or when I would have had him start this Bournemouth game. I'm a bit surprised he didn't. For the rotation, but yeah, that's the only way he gets games at the minute, I think.
Yeah, Richard, could you run through your if you've seen the light, Richard? Which I don't think is actually possible, Richard. You're beyond seeing the light. But all jokes aside, bro. Do you want to run through your predicted lineup for Liverpool, bro?
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? I mean, you've got Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel. The first one is Calafiori fit? If he's fit, it's a straight toss up between him and Hincapié. I'd still personally keep Hincapié. Then midfield three speaks for itself. Rice, Zubamendi and Odegaard. Then you start Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and then it's a case of Gyökeres or Jesus. And if you're trying to keep both fit and get minutes into both, you might go Jesus. But I think Gyökeres causes Van Dijk and Konate more issues than Jesus does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Richard, I'm going to stay with you for a second for this question, because there's one waiter that I want to ask Sean before he drops off. Liverpool are in a bit of poor form at the moment. Do you expect a reaction from Liverpool, or are Liverpool just in a really bad place at this moment in time?
I just think we've won the league. And they've relaxed maybe, and they've dropped 1-2%, and of course in this league, if you drop 1-2%, that's the difference between winning and losing. I mean, Konate has dropped off the planet this season, and I just think their away form is terrible, and it's as much as Slot's fault as it is the players' fault, because he's changed the system and he hasn't figured out how to get the players to the best out of the players in that new system.
No, that's fair enough. I've got Moonpions on that, which I think I've said on, so I'm not going to elaborate on that. John, for you, is this game, does it mean anything for a title challenge, or is it just 3 points? When I say anything for a title challenge, of course the 3 points matter, but what I'm meaning by that is it 3 points, or is it we're putting a statement to City and Villa because they're obviously still in the title challenge?
I think it's an expected 3 points. I think Villa and City would probably even look at this game as if to say, to expect us to get 3 points. I think the atmosphere is going to be like a like it's a title game because it's Liverpool at the minute, and there's a bit of a grudge there, especially against their fans because they're so irritating online. But I'm expecting 3 points. I'm not expecting it to be an easy game like Villa, but then I wasn't expecting Villa to be an easy game. I was very worried about that Villa game to come out 4-1. Was a big surprise. But I mean, if we came out of this 4-1, it wouldn't be a big surprise, but I'm also not expecting a 4-1. I'm expecting a 2-1, 2-0.
Yeah. See, you agreeing with Brian on stuff. So you lost it. That was my last question. I was wanting to talk about the atmosphere to you.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned it. So both of you could do that now. The atmosphere, can we touch on it? I believe that Arsenal are putting on a display for the Liverpool game. Sean, staying with it, and then we'll come back to Richard before we do score predictions and sign off. What are you expecting with the atmosphere like?
I mean, I think because of the situation we're in now, we're 6 clear. I mean, if City drop points on Wednesday, which I don't expect them to, although I didn't expect them to in their last 2 games, but if they drop points there and we're going into this game with a chance to pull 7, 8 clear, that atmosphere is going to be buzzing. And I think Thursday night is a very good time for a game because it's where people are already in London, already about, they're drinking after work, they're getting hyped for the game. And they're going there, and it's just, I think the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. And normally when there's this fan activated displays and stuff, it normally pumps the crowd up, especially early. So if the team go out there and start fast, I think the atmosphere is going to be golden. I think it's going to be the best atmosphere of the season, probably of the season, because I don't know what other games we've got other than Man United, which is just a dead game anyway now because they are useless. So at home, this should be the atmosphere, the biggest one, bar Champions League.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was going to use that as an example. So, Richard, me and you last season done the watch along, and we're doing the watch along for Liverpool on Thursday, which I'm looking forward to as always. An atmosphere on a midweek game. I've never felt an atmosphere in a stadium like Real Madrid. And when Declan Rice done what he done, can we? Do you agree with Sean and his case that bar that kind of game, or do you expect, yes, this is going to be the atmosphere inside the stadium on Thursday?
I expect the atmosphere to be buzzing because we will know come the game what we have to do, and it's Liverpool. It's the title holders. It's always a big game against them because of our history with them. We've been fighting for titles with them long before we were fighting for titles with United. So I'd expect that place to be buzzing. Normally, midweek games, if it's a team lower in the league, you're not expecting it. But because they with what happened earlier in the season as well, them beating us with a wonder goal, there'll be an expectation of revenge, and because of what we've done with every other team this season, I think the fans will be buzzing, and it'll be interesting to see what they pull off. If it's like the Tottenham one, it'll be epic.
Yeah, 100%. Sean, I know that you're 2 minutes away, so could you answer both of these in the same kind of bracket? Yeah. Lastly, give me your score prediction when you finish, because you're ready to jump off, mate. If you had to put Real Madrid as a benchmark as a 10 for atmosphere within the stadium, where do you expect the atmosphere for Liverpool to be? 1 out of 10.
So score prediction, I think it's going to be 2-1. I think we'll probably go 2-0 up and concede. In terms of what I think it will be, if we're allowed to do halves, I'm expecting an 8.5 in terms of atmosphere. If it was a bit later in the season and was looking like we're going to win the league, then I'd probably expect it to be right up there as a 9.5. But because circumstances of Liverpool aren't that great at the minute, they're not in the title race, probably lowers the bar slightly. I think if Liverpool were right up close to us where City were or Villa, then I'd probably expect even better of an atmosphere because it's just that much of a bigger game. But because this, in terms of the stakes, if we lose, Liverpool are still nowhere to be seen. So there's not that worry kind of thing, but the stakes are high for the league. So that's where I think the atmosphere is going to come from. And we just want to kick them.
Yeah, I'm being greedy, Sean, because I know that you're about to drop off. But another thought came in my head. When Gabriel made the mistake at the weekend, and Rich, I'm going to come to you for all of this, but Sean doesn't need to go.
That's fine.
When Gabriel made the mistake at the weekend, we heard the away fans sing his song constantly. And it took me back to 22-23.
Yeah.
Is it that like us as Arsenal fans inside the stadium, the away fans are the best in the world. The home fans also. Are we starting to create that vibe when Saliba conceded the own goal and everybody's singing his song and just getting behind them? And that was against Bournemouth as well, by the way.
It was.
Yeah.
I think we're getting there. I don't think we're. I think it's more. We'll get to that point the more we look like we're going to win the league, and it's all down to expectations. I think every season now we're expecting ourselves and the team to win the league. So at the start, it's always nerves. As the season goes, and as the season grows, and it looks like we're going to win the league, I expect the atmosphere to get better and better every single game and be on par with where it was in 21-22. That's my expectations, and I guess I'll get my answer on Thursday, because if the atmosphere isn't what I expect it to be, then I can kind of, I don't know, I guess there's an atmosphere issue.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Sean. I know that you do have to go, bro. Thanks so much for coming on. And where can people find you, bro?
On X, the Gunner EXP, and same with TikTok, the Gunner Experience.
Super, bro, and we'll hopefully catch up with you soon. And start planning my Ryder Cup tickets, bro, and I need to get that hotel sorted. Okay, I'll catch you soon, mate.
Cheers, Rich. See you later, mate.
Cheers.
See you later.
Richard, sorry about that.
That's fine. He's got the children to collect. I understand that.
So Richard, going back to you, is it just like sorry, I did ask you about the 3 points thing. I was rushing there to get through Sean. Is it just 3 points for you, or is it we could put a statement out? Do you see it as just a 3 points?
Well, I'm not worried about statements. All I want is 3 points. Keep the points rolling over, and keep the scoreboard pressure up. It's all about the pressure on the scoreboard, which in this case terms is points. We win against Liverpool. City are going to have to go again, and at the moment they've got no defenders for Brighton. They're threadbare at the back, and they're not defensively solid. So we have a chance to go 8 to 9 points above them. Yeah, and so 3 points is really what I'm looking at. I mean, on the other end of the scale, just don't lose. So if you're not going to win it, don't lose it.
Fair enough, mate. Anybody agree? The next thing, Richard, would be just score prediction, bro.
I'm going with Sean because with all my score predictions, I use the 40 stats, and they've got a home and away Premier League table. And I look at what each team does, has scored and concedes at home. And that's pretty much 2-1. That says we score 2.6 at home and concede 0.5. Liverpool score 1.7 away, but concede 1.8. So going against they're scoring against our defence, they'll get a goal, and we will get 2 goals against their defensive record. So that's how I came to my 2-1 prediction.
That's pessimistic, because if you went for Arsenal's expected goals at home, it was 2.5, and you could round it up to 3, and you would get the 3-1 that I was going for.
Yeah. Well, I didn't round it up because I just went 2.6 2-1 because Liverpool's is 1 point. Concede 1.7. So if they conceded 2.3, I probably would have gone 3-1. But because it's just below that two, I've gone for straight 2 goals and made it a 2-1. I mean, I'm hoping for a 2-0, but I think I'm going with what the stats say and go 2-1.
No, fair play, bro, and nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Richard, this is the end of the show, and this is a couple that I've done for in the North Bank over the last couple of weeks, which is always great. What have we got coming up, and what have you got coming up over the coming days, bro?
Right, so we've got the watch along.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said, because I am on that.
Then we've got I imagine there'll be a reaction and preview to the Portsmouth FA Cup game if it goes ahead, and because the pitch was frozen, and it's been the weather's been pretty dire down here the last 2 days, so that might get called off, but we won't know till the weekend. And then the watch along on Sunday. Hopefully, me and you will get on and do the Scottish ones at some point, and get that sorted. And then me and Des will have a few two old gunner stuff on top of that to do either tomorrow or next week. And then big Sunday show. Possibly, if Paul's not doing it, I think we need to do it.
Yeah.
And then the ladies are also playing Sunday, so but there won't be a watch along. They're playing Saturday, but there won't be a watch along for that because Angie's at the game and I'm at work at that time. But expect ladies in red to be back on Thursday. Looking at the weekend game against United.
Fantastic, Richard. Absolutely love having you on. We're going to drop everything into the description, so everything's there for you guys. You'll know where to follow Sean. Sean's a great guy, season ticket holder. He drops a lot of material out. He's also on the Ashburton Grove channel that he does with myself and Brian. Richard, Des, Paul, they're smashing it. They're flying out material daily. Richard always says this and started saying this recently, and he's absolutely right. This is probably the best podcast on YouTube if you want a balanced debate regarding something, because there's a lot of stuff that myself, Richard, Sean, Brian, Paul, Des, we could all absolutely 100% disagree with each other because we've all got different opinions on Arsenal. And that's what makes Arsenal beautiful. We've all got an opinion, but it's always done respectfully. It's not screaming at each other. It's not throwing abuse at each other. It's having that debate and asking the reason why someone thinks that. So if you want to be part of this community, please follow in the North Bank. Just please do it. It is fantastic. Richard will drop everything into descriptions. Get on there, DM Richard himself. You can DM me, you can DM Paul, DM then the North Bank page, and get involved. If you want to have a voice, we are the fans for the fans. Come and get involved in it. It's an amazing channel, and please do get involved in it. Richard, I love you, my brother. Thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you so much for coming on today, mate.
I wish I'd been a bit earlier, but buses and trains being late and cancelled didn't help.
Mate, I've got there's ferries getting cancelled and everything, and it's like everything's chaotic with the weather at the moment. It's just like it cannot be helped. It's the world that we live in January, mate. But until the next one, guys, Be optimistic, not pessimistic. 3-1 to the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners.